Hey y'all, welcome back to my live broadcast. I'm Shanta Prince and I work with women entrepreneurs who are transitioning to online business. So they're taking their gifts and their expertise and they're shifting their gifts and their expertise into serving clients and customers in an online setting. So basically, what I do is I focus on brand messaging, creating offers. I focus on sales and content creation in order to help my clients achieve their goals of having a successful and profitable online brand. So today, that's kind of like what I want to talk about is how to transition from having a career, having a full-time position that you're working into delivering your expertise, delivering those things that you are great at doing, sharing that knowledge that you have, helping people to do the things that you love to help them to do. How do you go from having a career to building an online business? Well, let me tell you, it's not as easy as it may look. However, if you have the right systems in place, if you have the right strategies, if you understand what you're supposed to be doing in order to be successful, I think the process becomes a lot easier when you have those tools. Now, even when you do have those tools, there are tons of things that go along with building a successful online business. And we already know that. So if you've been following me for, hey, Natasha, if you've been following me for any amount of time, you know I always tell you it's not easy in these business streets, right? It takes some serious work and it takes some focus, it takes consistency, it takes persistence. You literally have to like my mom, like I was telling Natasha a while ago that my mom, she would always say when I was going for something, she would always say, roll up your sleeves and fight, right? Like you when you're in entrepreneurship, you literally have to roll up your sleeves and fight. Right, exactly. So the thing is, there are some things that can really help you to build your online business a lot with a lot a way smoother process than just kind of fumbling around in the dark, right? Exactly. So when I was talking to my clients on Tuesday, I talked about how some of the things that I see in the marketplace that's keeping people from being able to sell their programs, like certain things I see, certain offers I see, and I'm just like, oh, if that person was my client, I would have them do it this way, or oh, that one thing that they're doing, that's why they're struggling to sell. And so there are a lot of things that you can put in place to make the selling process easier, to make your business growth process easier, so that you don't have to struggle so much, right? There's enough things in business to struggle with, right? So many things. Anything that you can do to make the process better for yourself, then by all means, go all in on that thing. So I just want to talk about some of the things that you need in order to transition from having a job or having a career into delivering your expertise in an online setting. So me, for example, I was in the Navy. I did 10 years on active duty in the Navy. And I also had a federal job for a very short time. Notice I said a very, very short time. When I got out of the Navy, I had a federal job for around about a year. And I was working with sexual assault survivors during with my federal job, but that was something that I did on the side when I was in the Navy. Now, when I was in the Navy, I was in IT, so I worked with computer systems, networks, routers, all the IT stuff. And so when I was in the Navy, I worked with survivors on the side as what we call it, a collateral duty. But basically, it's like you have your primary job, and then you have extra things that you do in addition to your primary job. So when I got out, I transitioned into working with sexual assault survivors as a federal job. I actually did enjoy the job, you guys, because half of my job was teaching, right? So y'all know by now that I love to teach. So I enjoyed the job, you guys. It was the people, right? The people that I had to work with, right? So anyway, I understand how it can be tough to transition when you're trying to build a business and then you're working. So the thing is, the trick is, you guys, when you have a job or when you have a career that you're also working because that's what pays the bills, then you have to transition in a way that makes it easier for you because you still got to show up to work because the bills got to be paid. So the thing is, when you're using your time, when you're focusing on your business, you're putting your time into your business, you want to put that time on the right things so that your business can be successful. If you're working during the week and you have a good 10 hours a week to dedicate to your business, you want to spend that 10 hours doing things that move the needle, not right, not doing things that are going to drain your finances, that are going to drain your energy. You want to do the things that are going to move the needle in your business, right? So you want to focus on the most important things. This is why I'm always telling my clients, so they know what moves the needle and what does not, right? So for example, if you're spending a whole month trying to build a website, that's not something that's going to move the needle. Okay. Later, yes, when you have your business up and running, when you listen, I know people who are well into the six figures without a website. And I don't mean like the just tapping the six figures. I mean well into six figures without a website. And I'm not saying don't have a website, but I'm saying that's one thing that if you only got 10 hours a week and you're spending your whole 10 hours every week trying to get this website up, it could take you 3 months to get that website up, right? That's not something that's going to move the needle because guess what? People will pay you with or without a website. Okay. With or without a website. And so when you're first starting, the whole goal is to start getting some income into the door, start making some money so that you can maintain your business. Okay. We all know that it takes money to run a business. There's things you got to pay for, right? You got to pay yourself. So we got to get that income in the door. So the first thing is when you're looking to translate your expertise into the online space, one of the things that's so important is if you are the kind of person where a lot of the things that you learned you're going to be using in your program, then you really have to be careful. Right. Exactly. Exactly. So if you're one of those people, if you are looking to translate what you're doing for work into a business, you got to be really careful to make sure that you're using language that connects with your audience. And I was just messaging another one of my clients about this, about she was talking about how she wants to make sure she's using language that her audience understands. Okay. So let me give you an example. So I just told you that when I was in the Navy, I was in IT. So I went to lots of different schools, lots of different trainings, did a whole bunch of different things. And I went and got a degree in computer studies. And so when it comes to technology, like I could probably go teach some technology classes if I wanted to. That's not what I want to do, but I probably could because I just have extensive knowledge in that area. Now, if I start talking to you, if I'm teaching, let's say I'm teaching a computer class, and I'm talking to you, and I'm talking about the different protocols, and if I'm saying to you, I'm talking about a protocol. So there's this protocol called RIP, right? It's a distance vector protocol. And if I'm sitting here and I'm talking to you and I'm saying RIP is a distance vector protocol, you're gonna be like, girl, what? Never mind. I'm logging off for the rest of the day, right? So what happens is, you guys, when you have a certain level of expertise, sometimes you're speaking to your audience and they have no idea what you're talking about because you're going too deep and they're not ready for all of that, right? So exactly, Natasha. Exactly. So this is exactly, I'm so glad Natasha said that because this is what a lot of people do to their audience. You're speaking above their heads. They have no idea what you're trying to communicate to them because they don't have that same kind of knowledge and experience that you have. So what you want to do is you want to speak in the language that they understand, okay? So you always want to make sure your language is connecting. So that's one important thing to remember. So the first thing I would tell you, if you are ready to start serving people online, you want to build an online business, you want more freedom, you want to be able to make more money, you want to take the income limits off, right? Because we all, if you're working and you're working, you're building your career, there's always going to be income limits, right? So when I was in the Navy, whatever your rank was, that's what you got paid. And if you wanted a raise, then you had to go take the advancement test and get selected for advancement. And then that's how you made more money. And then when you made, then you still had a cap. Once you got that raise, you went to that next rank. There still is a cap on your income. Okay. When you're running an online business, there are no caps. You can make as much or as little as you want to make. So if you're just like, okay, you know what, starting out, I just want to make enough money to pay my mortgage. You can absolutely do that. If you're like, I want to make enough money to send my kids to private school and to go on 3 vacations a year, you absolutely can do that. If you're like, I want to make enough to never have to go back to my career, to never have to answer to anybody else except for myself, to pay for all of my living expenses and retire my spouse, you absolutely can. It's up to you. No cap, this captions love that. So it's up to how you want to do it. How much money do you want to make? Okay. The thing is, everybody has different goals, right? So if your goal is to, make enough money to pay your mortgage, and then my goal is to hit 7 figures this year, how we're working is going to look different. Because if you're working on doing this thing, and my goal is we're going to be doing different strategies. One of us is going to be doing a few things and then cutting off, because we know that this is what it is. This is all I'm trying to do right here. One of us is going to be probably working a little bit longer or doing a little bit more, maybe hiring more people, investing more, and doing different things. So I'm just saying all that to say, it's really based on what your goals are. Okay. What are your business goals? So when people ask stuff like, well, how often should I post? It depends on what your goal is. Okay. It depends on what your goal is. The more you post, the more visibility, right? However, if you're not in that place where that's what your primary focus is, then that's totally okay. So what I would say is the first thing you want to really start doing to make that transition is you want to start building your audience. You want to start gathering people, gathering your people, gathering people who are interested in what you have to say and what you have to offer. So you need a place to be able to do that. Okay. So that could be, for some people, it's they're building podcast subscribers, and that's their audience. For some people, it's a Facebook group and they're collecting people in their Facebook group. For some people, they don't have a podcast or a Facebook group. They just have an email list, right? You can use all of those to grow your audience. Remember what I said, it's up to how you want to do it. So if you want to have a podcast and send people from your podcast straight to your email list, then that's how you do it. If you want to have a podcast and then send people to your Facebook group, then that's the way that you do it. However, I always make sure my clients understand that you should always, regardless of how you're pushing traffic, you should always focus on getting people onto your email list. Okay. Eventually, they should arrive somewhere on your email list. A lot of people think that social media is the last stop. Like when they join your group, that's it. Yay, I got a new group member. This is amazing. But really, that should not be the last stop, right? You should always make an effort to get them on your email list. Okay. And that is, having an email list is one of the very basic foundations, the basic components of the foundation of building an online business. Okay. If we're talking about online business, an email list is something that you absolutely should have, because what happens when you don't have an email list is you may make some sales and things like that, but every time you're ready to sell something different, you kind of got to start over again. You got to go find people to buy this new offer. Whereas if you have an email list, guess what? Some people who bought one of your previous offers and they're on your email list, guess what they do? They're going to buy your other offers. I have repeat buyers all the time. I'm a repeat buyer. When I buy from someone, I'm on their email list, they send out something, I'm buying it, right? If I've worked with that person before and I know they do great work, I'm buying it, right? But that's because I'm on their email list. And a lot of times, you guys, I don't have a lot of time to be on social media all the time. So if they post it on social media, I'm living life, right? I have a very busy life and I'm not always scrolling on social media. Sometimes I have a little time and I'll sit down and I'll scroll through and, see what's going on. I don't have a lot of time to be on social media. So if someone makes a post on social media saying, hey, my new program is open, I may never see that. However, if they email me and say, hey, my new program is open, I'm checking my emails and I'm like, oh yes, let me, click on this link and join this program. I'm an email buyer. I buy a lot from email. Okay. So not having an email list could cause you to have to work harder. So I would say if you're looking to really start building your audience online, I would say get that email list going and start getting people on your email list, because that's how you're going to make your money. Okay. When you have an email list, you can make money anytime you want to, even if all of the social media systems shut down one day, right? If you wake up and there's no Facebook, no Instagram, no TikTok, if you have an email list, guess what? You can still make money, because you can send your email out about your new program. You can send emails out about getting booked to do consultation calls with you. You can send an email out if you're launching a new course. That is going to be your biggest money maker. So having an email list is super important. So if you're looking to transition, that would be the first thing I would tell you is to get your email list set up so that you can start growing your audience. Okay. Then you got to think about how you want to draw your audience. Do you want to have a podcast? Are you the kind of person who loves to speak or loves to teach or loves to interview guests? Then you may consider starting a podcast, because a podcast can be very powerful for growing your business if you leverage it the right way. Okay. If you use it the right way, you use it powerfully, you leverage it powerfully, that can be a really great tool for growing your business and helping you to close more sales. So I always tell my clients to find out what's going to work for you. Maybe you're not a podcast person. Maybe you're a live video person and you just like getting on live video, right? And then let's say you're that live video person, but you want a podcast. You could easily get someone to take the audio off of your live videos and then translate that into a podcast for you. So the thing is, thinking about how you're going to draw your audience, because regardless of how you do it, the principle is still the same. Okay. So this is what I talk about is when I talk about principles, if I'm saying, okay, you got to grow your audience, right? That's the principle. But how you do it is up to you. Okay. So if I'm saying, okay, the principle is always going to be grow your audience, right? Then the strategy or the tactics of it is going to be based on you and your personality. Right, Natasha. Tap it all the way in. And you already know what I'm gonna say. You are crushing it, lady. So you want to think about how you're going to draw your audience in a way that works for you. So I always encourage my clients to try different things. Do something different, right? If you know the saying, if you want something you've never had, you got to do something that you've never done. I find that statement to be true. Anytime I'm going after something that I haven't achieved or I haven't had yet, I got to do something different. I got to try some new things. And so I'm always encouraging my clients, try something different, try this, try that, and see what's going to work for you. Now, there's a difference between something being a little bit uncomfortable and then something that's just not going to work for you. Like, I know someone right now who she just struggles terribly when it comes to articulating her ideas. So for her, she may want to write it out first and then articulate her ideas on camera. Okay. But some people can get on camera and just flow. And then some people have to do things differently, right? So it's still the same thing, right? It's still getting on camera, right? The principle is still there. However, how she's doing it may be different. For me, I can flow with or without notes. Some of my clients are like that too. They can hit that live button and teach a whole curriculum, right? That's it's mapped out in their head, but not necessarily on paper. And but it depends on you and your personality. So there's a difference between just feeling a little bit uncomfortable about things, like the person that I'm talking about. Like she gets on camera, and I know her, so I know that she's struggling. Her audience may not know, but I know that she's struggling because I know her. So that's just being uncomfortable, right? That's her working through the uncomfortable parts of being on camera. So that's one thing, right? And then there's another thing, if like something is really not going to work for you. And the only person who is going to know that is you. You have to really be honest with yourself and ask yourself, okay, can I really just not do this? Or is it just a little bit uncomfortable, right? None of us like to be uncomfortable. Y'all, like we don't like discomfort at all. we just it's just we're just wired that way, right? We don't like discomfort, we don't like pain, We don't like complicated, like we just, that's just not in our nature, right? So what you have to do is really think about, okay, is this just like feeling a little bit uncomfortable, or can I really just not do this, right? Most of the time, it's just you being feeling uncomfortable. Not that you can't, because you absolutely can, right? So you have to think about that. So when I'm making decisions, I ask myself that question: can I really not do this, or do I just not want to, right? Because that's two different things. Can do I just not want to do this thing, or like, can I really just not do it? So let me give you an example. If I have something to do and I just don't feel like doing it, that's one thing. Okay. However, there was a time when I wasn't feeling well, and I was just like, I really just can't. Right. So that's what I mean by like being honest with yourself and saying, can I really not do this, or am I just uncomfortable? Okay. That right there has helped me to get through so many things and get so much stuff done, because I'm being honest with myself. Listen, you guys, the only person who can build your dream is you. You are the CEO, not just of your business, but of your dream. And if you can't be honest with yourself, nobody else will. So if you take an honest self assessment and say, okay, let me see what is really going on in my head right now. Am I really incapable, or do I just not feel like doing this thing? Which one is it? Can I really not, or is it just that I just don't feel like it, right? And so for me, if my answer, yes, I talk to myself, right? So my answer to myself is, you know what, you can do that. You just don't feel like it right now. Then guess what I do? I get up and I get it done. I do it. I get it done. We all have like those different aspects about business that we just don't enjoy, but it still has to get done, right? So some things it's just like, oh, I don't really feel like doing this, but let me just go ahead and get it knocked out, right? So for me, when it's time to do certain things, like the financial part, it's like, oh my gosh, like I got, even though I'm good at math, it's like, oh, I got to work through all of these numbers and all of this, but as a CEO, that's something that you have to do. You have to look at your finances, right? Exactly, Natasha. Full blown staff meetings. There's certain things that you have to do that you may not enjoy. So just ask yourself, okay, do I really just not feel like doing this, or can I really just not get this done, right? You have to hold yourself accountable to get the things done that got to be done, right? Nobody else is going to hold your feet to the fire like you will for yourself, okay? So gathering your audience, you need a place to gather your audience. I always recommend starting out with an email list. The other thing that you need is an offer. You need to take your gifts, your expertise, and your knowledge and put it into an offer that no one can replicate. Okay? You need to take those gifts and all of that beautifulness that's inside of you, all that awesomeness, and put it into a package or a program that your audience can understand. And that is the way that you're going to make money. See, what I'm finding is a lot of the struggle is, well, I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to package up my expertise into an offer, right? I teach this my clients to my clients so that they know how to create an offer. As a matter of fact, one of my clients, I was just telling her the other day, I'm like, listen, I'm going to send you this guide to help you to create your offer, right? Because I create offers for them and with them, but I also want them to be able to do it for themselves, right? They're investing with me. So when their investment term is up, they need to be able to create an offer for themselves. That is my goal, right? So I want them to not have to use me as a crutch, but to take the knowledge, take the information, and then know how to put offers together for yourself. So that way you can generate income anytime by just putting together an offer. Anytime you see a problem that your ideal clients are struggling with, you can turn that into an offer. And the way that you make money is by solving problems. Okay? You make money by solving problems. If your ideal clients are having a problem that you can solve, the next step is to create an offer that you can extend to them, right? Extend them the offer, right? You're offering them a solution to their problem. That's what your offer is, right? Your offer is a solution to their problem. Okay. So you need an offer some type of program or process that your ideal clients can understand so that you can have something to sell. Okay. You see, the thing is, the great thing about creating offers is that because you're so different and because you're so unique, there should not be another offer like yours. Okay. There should not be another offer like yours because there's certain things that you can include in that offer that nobody else can do because of your background, because of your experience, because of your knowledge. There's something, there's a level of differentiation that you bring to your offer based on who you are. Okay. There's only one you, right? So even if somebody did try to replicate your offer, they won't be able to deliver it the way that you deliver it, right? Because you're so unique. You are a beautiful gem that stands out, whether you like it or not, you stand out. And so, because of that, you always want to make sure you add your secret sauce to your offer, okay? So, with my clients, we don't do generic offers. We do offers that are very specific to their gifts, their personality, their backgrounds, even the language that we use when I help my clients with their offers is based on who they are and their personality. So with my clients, when you see their offers, you will not see any other offers in the marketplace like theirs. Because when I help them to design their offers, I design them based on who they are, their background, their personality. Okay. And so that is how your offer should be. It should be something that stands out, that makes you show up differently, that separates you from the rest of the pack. Exactly. Never duplicate it. So, right, Natasha, that secret sauce, that secret sauce. So the thing is, when you put your offer together, pull on all of the essence that is you. And when you create that offer, you want to make it something that no one else can deliver. Okay. So for me, I have a friend who teaches on branding, but we're totally different. I teach branding, she teaches branding, but we teach it in very different ways. And she has a different background than I have. So my background is in I have lots of experience with technology. So I build funnels. I also I can build websites. That's not something that I really do, but I can, and I build pretty bomb websites too. I understand the technological aspects of any system that it takes to run an online business. And then if I don't understand it, it won't take me long to figure it out. If you give me a login in about an hour and let me play around with it, I will be able to teach on it like after that hour. Okay. Now, of course, as long as it's not something that's too robust, because then I might need a little more time. But that's just a gift that I have, right? But you have something that you do like that, like how I just described with how I am with technology. You got that. You have something too that you do just like how I do with technology. So I have a strong background in technology. I also have a lot of experience with writing about people and writing, just writing in general. And listen, I have 4 college degrees, y'all. So as a matter of fact, the reason why I haven't went back to school yet is because I'm just like not ready to write papers. It's the papers for me, right? That's the one thing that's making me like, oh, I'm not ready. I love school, but I'm like, I'm not ready to write those papers. So I have a lot of experience with writing, and this is why I write for my clients so easily. It's effortless for me. So those are things that I bring to the table, as well as a bunch of other things. And so my offers and how I help my clients is going to look different from how my friend who also teaches branding, the way that she serves her clients, it looks different because of her background and her expertise. But our programs are very different. Okay. Even though we're in the branding space and some of our ideal clients are very similar, we're very different. And so because of that, you don't have to worry about your offer looking like someone else's because you're very different. And you could really stand in confidence knowing I am unique. Therefore, what I offer is unique. Therefore, how I do things is very unique, right? So when you create your offer, you want to think about, like what Natasha said, you want to think about what secret sauce do you have that you can infuse into that offer, right? How can you season that offer up with your secret sauce, okay? With your flavor and how you do things. And then when you go out to sell it, you feel even more amazing about it because you know that that offer is exactly based on who you are and how you do business and how you serve your clients. Okay. So you need to build your audience. You need an offer, and you definitely need to make sure you've got an email list. Okay. So the other thing is you want to have a sales strategy that works. You need a sales strategy that works. There are a lot of different ways to sell programs. Okay. Like my clients are aware, posting a flyer is not one of them. That is not how you sell a program. I was just talking about this a little bit on Tuesday night about how one of my clients, Jackie, she messaged me. She's like, how does this flyer look? And I'm like, Jackie, that's not how you sell a program. And I said, but if you want to do it for informational purpose, then she's like, oh yeah, it's just for informational purposes. Because I'm like, good, because I was like, I didn't want her to feel disappointed because like she posts this thing and like nobody clicks, nobody buys, because that's normally what happens when you just post a flyer, right? And see, the thing is, you will very rarely see me post a flyer to sell my program unless it's in the context of a launch. I very rarely ever post a flyer unless I'm launching, right? Or if I'm talking about it, like let's say I'm teaching today and then I'm talking to you about my program. And then when I get off this live video, I post the flyer, say, hey, you guys, the doors of my program are open. This is what we were just talking about because we were just talking about it on my live video. So when I post the flyer, it's usually there's more to go with it, right? I'm posting it in a specific context because a lot of people, you guys, are so disappointed. And I know this because some of y'all tell me you post your stuff and nobody's buying. That's because you're posting it out of context. When you post a flyer and someone clicks the link that you posted with that flyer, that's probably because that person knows you already, and maybe they see you going live every week and things like that. But you very rarely get enough traction on a post like that unless you're posting it in a specific context. Okay. Now you do have, people will click sometimes and people will buy it, sometimes, but y'all, it won't be enough for you to maintain your business. So when you post, if you're selling something, and a lot of people think posting a flyer is selling, and that's a part of it, but it's a very tiny part of it, right? Another one of my clients was working through this on last week, where she posted, but there's context to it, right? So a lot of people think when you post, that's it, right? So like for my client, for example, when she did her video and she made her pitch, I'm like, okay, let's keep the ball rolling, right? Because there's more, right? So I show my clients how to go beyond just doing a post, just posting a video, just posting a flyer, just doing it. There's got to be more layers to that, okay? So if you have posted something and you didn't get the traction that you thought that you should have gotten from that, there's probably because there's not enough context, okay? Now, it is a habit because this is kind of like how we've been taught. It's a habit to create a program or get ready to sell a program, and then the first thing you do is go create a flyer. That's kind of like how we were taught, like, right? Because I know for me in ministry, the first thing we do for a special thing is we go create a flyer because we want to hand those flyers out, or we want to post it around the church so everybody can see it. We want to share with our friends. But you guys, think about it like this: in the church setting, that flyer is still in context. Because guess what? Those people are showing up every Sunday. They're listening to the messages. They're probably showing up at Bible study. There's constant interaction, right? So when if I'm in church and you give me a flyer that says, "Oh, we're doing this special event on Saturday," I'm very attentive because I'm here every week. I'm engaged every week, right? I'm active, right? So a lot of people, like for example, I get a lot of church stuff in the mail from other churches in my area. But I'm not really that attentive to that because it's kind of out of context, right? So for them, I know what they're doing. They're just trying to let people know in the area know that they're there. But there's a difference. I'm not going to respond to how if I get a church flyer in the mail, I'm going to respond differently to where if that is coming from my church. Do y'all get what I'm saying? So if a church that I don't know of is just sending me a flyer through the mail, I may just say, "Oh, that's nice," and put it to the side, right? But if it's my church, I'm going to respond differently. I'm probably going to pull that flyer out. I'm going to put it in my calendar. I'm going to make sure I'm prepared because I'm planning to be there. So when you just post a flyer to sell something and there's no other context, that's kind of how people are. They're like, oh, that's cute. And they keep scrolling. But if you're constantly like engaged with your audience, you're showing up every week, or if you invite them to a launch, or you're doing the work. Like one of my clients has been crushing it with collaborations. She is literally out there doing the work, y'all. She's doing the work, and she's amazing. She looks great, and her audience is really soaking in everything that she's saying. So that's what I mean, y'all, by like context, right? When you're selling a program, the flyer is only a part of it. Okay. You need a sales strategy, and posting a flyer is not a sales strategy. Okay. It should go along with other things, is what I'm trying to say. Okay. So if you're just selling based on one post or one flyer, you're going to struggle. Okay. You're going to struggle because people buy from people they know, like, and trust. The way that you get people to know, like, and trust you is by showing up and serving. Okay. Showing up and serving. And then the next level from that is having conversations with them. This is how you build connection. This is how you build relationships. This is how you sell. Okay. You sell based on your connection and your relationship with your audience. That's why majority of my clients create content. They share content because why? They're connecting with their audience. They're building relationship. They're connecting. Because why? Because they need to sell, right? They need to be able to sell. And the thing is, when you're connected with your audience, selling becomes so much easier. I remember when I first started getting really good at sales, I remember telling my mentor, I was just like, I'm struggling to sell because I'm really great at like making friends. So I connect with people and I make friends like very well. But when it's time to sell, I kind of just freeze up. And then she asked me one question that changed my entire life. She said, well, why would you not want to help your friends? Why would you not want to sell to your friends? Why would you not want to help them? And I said, oh my goodness, that's the missing piece. Okay. I make friends, right? This is what I mean, you guys. Relationship. Okay. I make friends and then I help my friends, right? If you have something that you can do to help people, why would you not offer it to them? That's what selling is. Selling is offering something to someone who can benefit from it. Okay? So if you're great at connecting with people, the next thing is, if you know these people, you care about them, is to offer them your help. Okay? So there's a lot of different ways to sell and offer different sales strategies. So this is why inside of my program we work on different ways to launch, or even to not launch. If that's not if launching is not your jam, guess what? I can show you other ways to get clients without launching. Okay, but I do encourage my clients to launch. Anything anything that has something to do with being on camera, being in front of people, demonstrating your gifts and your expertise, that's what I'm always pushing my clients to do. So if they ask me, well, should I do video or should I just do audio? I'm gonna be like, get on camera, get on video, right? But there are other ways. If it's like, okay, this is just really not working. Okay, we got some other ways. There's different ways, different ways to get new clients, but the principles are still the same. Okay, whether you do a 5-day challenge or whether you do a webinar to promote your program, guess what? The principles of both of those strategies are still the same. You still want to focus on connecting with people and building relationship with your audience. The principle is still the same, right? It's just a different way of hitting those blocks that need to be hit when it comes to selling. Okay, so the goal is in any type of sales strategy is to connect with people. Now you can sell in the direct messages. One of my clients has extensive experience with that. So you could sell in the direct messages, right? But the goal is still connecting because you're connecting with them in direct messages. You could sell using a webinar. The goal is still the same. You're connecting with them, but you're connecting on camera. If you sell in a 5-day challenge, you're still connecting with people. You're connecting with them on camera, and you just have more time throughout the week to connect with them. So do y'all see what I mean by like the strategies are different, but the principles are still the same. The focus is still on connection and building relationships. Okay. I'm telling you guys, the way up is down. And what I mean by down is humbling yourself to talk to your people, talk to your audience, never be above talking to people. And I know that sometimes it can be like, if for me, I'm an introvert. And I think pretty much all of my clients are also introverts. Like we're a bunch of introverts. And so the thing is with an introvert, like we're not shy. But after talking to people, like we need to take a nap. We need a nap after that, right? We love you, but you drain us. So after interacting with people like for an extensive amount of time, we need to go take a nap. We need some quiet time. That's how we get reactivated. We need quiet time. We need time alone, right? Extroverts, on the other hand, they get excited when they get around people. Their energy comes from other people. But for us, we need to go and just like take a nap, y'all. Even for introverts, you can talk to people in a way that works for you. If you really wanted to, you could just make $1 million by direct messages, and it's very possible. It's very possible. Okay. But I'm always encouraging my clients to get on camera. The reason why I encourage them to get on camera is because you can build trust by somebody seeing your face on camera faster than you can build trust by somebody getting a message from you. Being on camera builds trust faster. That's why I'm always saying, tell them to get on camera so people can see your face. When you do your reels, let people see your face, right? Yeah, we all like to do the fun reels where our face doesn't show, right? But your whole profile cannot be nobody seeing your face, right? So when we did our reels challenge, I told my clients, I'm like, look, do have your fun reels, but also make sure some of your reels are showing your face. Why? So people can connect with you, so they can see you, because that builds trust faster than anything. Okay. Even through email, even through messages, being on camera, being on video is the fastest way to build trust, right? That's why I'm like, get out there, get on camera. Natasha says it works. I hated camera, but I got out of right. Right. Natasha is crushing it on camera, y'all. She is crushing it on camera. And guess what? Her audience appreciates the work that she's doing. And that's the thing, y'all. So imagine like with Natasha's example, how she's on camera, she's showing up. Guess what? When she's selling, she's already paved the way for sales by showing up and engaging with her audience. She didn't just pop out of the blue and post a flyer, right? She's doing the work and she's paving the way for sales. And this is exactly what I teach, right? When you are doing the work, you literally earn your right to sell. She's been showing up, she's been serving, she has earned her right to sell. And when she starts to sell, there's no guilt about it. Why? Because she's been working really hard to serve her audience. So when people are feeling guilty, right, for selling, when you serve first, then the guilt is gone, because you're like, listen, I've been working really hard. It's time for me to make an offer. Okay. You earn your right to sell by serving. So this is the style that I teach. The way that you sell is by serving. Okay. Not spamming people, not popping out of the blue and just, posting a flyer, but you're doing the work. You're putting the content out there. You're serving your people. You're connecting with your people. You're talking to your people. Y'all, this is how I know what kind of content to talk about. This is how I know what kind of offers to create. This is how I know what the struggle is, because I talk to y'all. So I can serve you better because I know what you're dealing with. I can serve you better because I know what the struggle is. Okay. And guess what? We're all family here. Everything that you are experiencing, I have experienced. Okay. Everything that you're going through, guess what? Somebody else is going through the same thing. So even when you look at people, you're like, oh, they already made 6 figures. Guess what? That 6 figures did not come easy. Nobody makes 6 figures overnight, right? Until they get seasoned enough to be able to do that. So when you see people saying, oh, I had a 6-figure day, I had a 6-figure week, I had $1 million day, But they don't tell you it took them 15 years to get to this $1 million debt. Okay. So think about where you are, y'all. Like the only place where you can start is from where you are. Nowhere else, right? Sometimes we look at people who have been doing this stuff that we're starting for, and they've been doing it for 20 years. And we want to show up in our first 20 days looking like the person that's been doing this for 20 years. And we can't do that. We got to start from where we are. There's no other place that you can start from other than where you are. You cannot show up on day 20 looking like you've been doing this for 20 years, right? When you've been doing it for 20 years, then you can look like you've been doing it for 20 years, right? So if you've been comparing yourself and looking at certain people like, oh, I needed to look like that. Do you know how many people haven't started their business because they're waiting for certain things so they can look like this person that's on their 11th year of business? Oh, I need this. Oh, I got to do a photo shoot. Oh, I need a new camera. And you don't. You really need the stuff that we just talked about. You need an audience. Start building your audience. You need an email list, right? You can always make money without an email list, but to maintain it, you need an email list, okay? You need an audience. You need to get your email list. You need an offer, and you need a sales strategy, okay? Notice I didn't say you need a fancy website. I didn't say you need to go buy a $5,000 camera. You have a $1,000 camera on your phone because I know that a lot of us, we spend a pretty penny on these phones. Use what you have, right? Excellence is doing the best you can with what you have right now. Okay. Perfectionism is waiting for something that you don't have before you get started. Excellence is using what you have right now and going with that. You guys, when I tell y'all, some people are doing a lot more with less than what we have. Okay. Some people are doing more with less. That alone should make you feel inspired, right? Pave the way. Exactly. Pave the way to sales. That's exactly what it is, Natasha, imposter syndrome. Some people are doing more with less. If you have a warm place to sleep every night, you have a device, an expensive device in your pocket or in your purse, you got food on your table, listen, you ready, right? If you got a warm place to sleep, you got food on your table, you got a phone. You can build a multi-million-dollar business with that, for real. And if you just really step out of where you are and just understand who you are and that you have enough to be successful, then you'll start to see different opportunities. You will be surprised how much you can do with a phone. It's a computer, right? This is a computer. So even if you don't have a desktop computer, think about all the stuff you can do with just your phone, you guys. Just your phone. And then you can make your investment, the money that you paid on your phone, you can make that money back and some, okay? You have enough to be successful. Exactly. You have enough to be successful. Y'all, think about all the people that we know of who started out homeless versus where they are now. Like people, and I know we have those kind of stories everywhere. People that started out homeless, who are now multimillionaires and billionaires. People who started out with less than what we have, y'all. Less than what we have right now. There is a way for you to be successful, right? It really starts with what you believe about yourself and what actions you're willing to take. Okay. Listen, none of us get to skip the work. We all got to do the work, right? We all got to do the work. And at the same time, you guys, the beautiful thing is we're all in this thing together, right? We're all working. We're all on our individual journeys. We're in this same world, but we're all on different journeys, right? But yet we can travel together and encourage each other and keep one another inspired. Okay, and so if you need help with growing your business, you want to transition to online, I want you to send me a direct message and let's talk about it. Just send me a message on Facebook. If you're watching me on LinkedIn, you can send me a message on LinkedIn. If you're catching me on YouTube, just shoot me an email at info@shantaprince.com. So y'all already know that this is how I know what to create. I talk to you guys. So don't be shy about talking or reaching out. I'm very reachable. I'm very personable. Okay. I'm very approachable. So don't be shy about reaching out. If you have a question or if you're looking for help with something, feel free to shoot me a message or send me an email. Okay. Other than that, you guys, I hope y'all have a wonderful week and I'll see y'all back here next week at the same place and the same time. Have a happy Thursday and a wonderful weekend, and I'll be seeing you again soon.